Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee Podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of November 14th, 2023. I think that today has been just a slow roll. I don't know. I know Beth has had a rough day. I've had a rough day. I think, Kamish, how are you doing? You doing good?
No, it's been rough.
There we go. I feel like everyone's sort of like going along today. So I'm glad that, as adults, we all get to sit together and just bitch about something silly tonight, which is the best part about this.
Because fuck today for real, though.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. As always, I'm Jordan. With me tonight, I've got Kamish, Pit Girl, Beth, and Arthur on the ones and twos. Pit Girl, how are you?
I'm good. I had actually a pretty good day today.
Good for you.
So I'm sorry to those of you who did not have a pretty good day today.
That's fine. At least one of us did. I feel like as long as one of us has a good day, then the energy in the world is okay. Kamish, how are you, sir? Yep.
No, I'm just like, yeah, no, I've been better. It was not like a horrific day, but we're just trying to get through. I feel like the house is just an incubator for germs right now.
Oh yeah.
So we're in the what illness does everybody have mode right now. So I'm a little scratchy throated. I'm getting over a cough. There's some pink eye involved in the house. I've lucky to avoid that. The 6-year-old had it a few days ago. Now the wife has it. So we're trying to, we're half of the house has pink eye, the other half doesn't, and we're trying to prevent that.
There we go.
From being passed to each other. So it's been better days. I'll say that. There's been better days.
I told you guys that I didn't say it on here because it was after that, but at the very end of the podcast on Sunday, I cut off short because I was like, oh, I think my kid's sick because Alana had sent me a text. Turns out, double ear infection. Booyah.
Womp womp.
It's great. I'm not
Sad Price is Right noise.
I'm not going to make Beth talk because she's currently eating because she has not eaten today. So she can continue to eat. Beth almost fought a first grader today, so things are going well.
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about almost fighting a first grader?
No.
There we go.
Okay.
Done. I assume Beth had a first grader in a headlock and then just chose to step away. You pardoned him.
I did nothing fireable today.
Hey. Non-actionable. That's the key. Well, folks, let's start off by talking about some college football news in general. Hit Girl, you want to share your first story?
I do. So I would like to take a second to give a huge shout out to Maddie Barch, who, of course, I dropped the link and then closed the link. But she is the first woman to ever score non-kicking points in NCAA football. She plays for a D3 school whose name I have to scroll down and find.
Kalamazoo, I believe. Kalamazoo.
Thank you. Yes. She plays for Kalamazoo and caught a pass on she's the kicker, and she caught a pass on a busted play and got a 2-point conversion. And I am so excited. So shout out to Maddie Barch.
That's amazing. I'm always so happy to see things like that because hell yeah, why not?
Well, it was a great recovery on the busted play.
Oh,
too.
for sure. Just a great heads up move too. Well, on Sunday night, we talked about the first bit of the carousel spinning. We talked about Jimbo Fisher, how he's owed, I found out, $19.2 million in the next 60 days, I believe. And then we'll get $7.1 million for each year until 2031. Being a fired head football coach, best job ever. But that same night, or the next day, I believe, the next shoe dropped. The Brady Hoke experience is over in San Diego. He is retiring, much like my pets retired upstate to the farm.
I think my favorite one was Godfrey tweeted the picture of one of the Simpsons, the mobsters from the Simpsons. Mm-hmm. That had the gun to somebody's back. It said, "Yeah, retire." Mm-hmm. It's like,
at least
so they let him go. What does that mean functionally?
He's just done after the year. He's out.
Right. I know. So I know he's not going to coach there anymore. Like, does he get paid a buyout? Like, is it some sort of thing where he agrees to write it down? Like, what does that actually mean when they say he retired?
I'm not sure.
So, what happens in a lot of these cases is that a coach like Brady Hoke will go to the administration and say, rather than you firing me and paying my buyout, I'm willing to retire for X percentage of the buyout. You save face. I don't end up with an L as the last thing I ever do. And like everyone is.
So if I want to come
happy.
back and coach again, I don't have that L on my record. And also, now I can go be an analyst somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know that happened here, but it's likely.
So yeah, Brady Hoke retires. This is, we sort of all had this one pegged, I think, for a while in San Diego State because they've been looking anemic this year. And you have that beautiful new stadium and you're playing some of the most boring football on the West Coast. That ain't going to go. I'm interested to see what they go for next because, again, you have a beautiful new stadium. You want to fill it up and you need something with a little life. You don't need Brady Hoke there.
Oh, man. The Hokamaniacs are definitely going to be upset at this hire. This retiring.
I think that I think that the Hokamaniacs will survive.
But the field will be so quiet without all the clapping.
So much clapping. We'll give him a last round of applause after his last game. Then, not to be outdone, Mississippi State said, 9 months? Nah, man, too fucking long, and fired Zach Arnett. This
is so fucking stupid.
So they owe him $4 million.
This is so fucking stupid.
I thought...
What did they expect him to do?
I don't know. This definitely felt like we're trying to keep continuity after Mike Leach passes away, but then don't offer him something with a $4 million buyout. If you knew you wanted out of this.
$4 million for an SEC buyout is pretty much nothing.
Yes, but Mississippi State
it's Mississippi State.
A ton of money to burn. It seemed weird to only give him 9 months, but none of the folks that I follow seem to be surprised about this. Like none of the the sports journalists I follow seem to be surprised about this. So there may be something else going on that I don't know about. But that opens up 2 SEC jobs right now, which that's. And now we're back at this thing of like, well, what's the better job? Is it A&M? Is it Mississippi State? And then we have another Big Ten job that might come open soon because what broke tonight looks like Chip Kelly's out of UCLA.
Wait, hold on. Okay, that just didn't click yet. Another Big Ten job opening. And I'm like,
yeah. That's a Big Ten job. Because nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah, it took me a second there. I was like, wait, hold on. Oh, okay.
Now, this feels less surprising because a lot of times when teams jump conferences, they'll fire a coach to be like, no, you can't get us over this hump. We need someone else to get us over this hump to the next thing.
Hello, Dana Holgerson.
Exactly right. And so...
Or Scott Satterfield if you're Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Oy.
And this feels like that. I think Chip Kelly at this point is 32 and 32 or 33 and 33 at UCLA, which seems both higher and lower than I expected. I'm not sure how it's just defeating expectations in every direction. But this feels like, okay, this makes sense. And now, is this a better job? Yes, ma'am.
Point of order. Arkansas is also open, correct?
No, I don't believe so, unless you do something about Sam Pittman that I don't.
Okay, never mind.
Are you getting Sam Pittman fired?
Maybe.
I think he's doing that himself, but okay, sure.
Yeah, no, I apologize. I search Twitter for Arkansas football coach, and there are a bunch of jokes about other people getting apologies.
Now you have me concerned that I've suddenly missed something yet again.
I don't think you have.
I think a lot of these situations are pretty fluid, and we're gonna find over the next few weeks as we record these podcasts and then edit them and then post them that they will be out of date by the time we post them, which we're kind of used to when we cover Maction on here, but that's something that is just going to be a thing, and there's nothing we can really do about it. We will be several days behind every time we come to you with coaching updates. Like on our last episode, by the time we dropped it, Brady Hoke and Zach Arnett had been fired, and we didn't, we weren't there yet when we recorded.
Nope.
Speaking of
as of
Maction-
8 hours ago, Sam Pittman is not worried about his job security, but there was a Pitt reporter who tweeted 2 days ago that Sam Pittman had been fired, which is probably why I thought he had been fired.
There we go. Well, and of course, with all these openings, we have people like Dan Lanning saying, I would never leave Oregon. Oregon's my favorite place in the world.
They gonna take you out of Oregon in a pine box, Dan?
Uh-huh. Exactly what I thought. And then I need to read the Dion tweet because it's great. Because someone asked Dion about whether he was going to go anywhere, and he responded with this. Let me find the graphic. It's very good.
I'm good.
Kamish, can you give us a quick Maction update, by the way, while I'm doing this?
Sure. Let's see here. Northern Illinois has defeated Western Michigan 24-0. Western Michigan has been eliminated from bowl contention. The bowl elimination bowl. NIU is now 5-6, 1 game away. Akron and Eastern Michigan in OT. Eastern Michigan kicked the field goal to tie it. Eastern Michigan is up in OT 24-17. It all comes down to the undercuffler. And if he can send this to double OT or maybe win the game in regular OT. Bowling Green also was up huge. 20.
And Toledo has come back.
And Toledo has come roaring back. They've rocketed back to within 3 points. About 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Here's the quote from Dion. I am here. I am here. My mother is here. My sister is here. My dog is here. My daughter is here. 3 of my sons are here. And my other daughter comes out for the home games. I get mail here. I pay taxes here. I'm here. Dog is above
Can't argue with
the
that.
sons and daughters, by the way.
I think that's a reasonable prioritization, to be honest.
It is.
Just the aggressive present tense is a delight.
Yes. I mean, it's great. It's beautiful. And the graphic, I just dropped it in the chat, is also great too. He's wearing camo. It's beautiful. I love all of this. Thank you, Dion.
You're not going to believe this, but Bowling Green has just gotten an interception from Toledo. They are the turnover machine.
Wait, did they give up an interception or they took an interception?
They just took one back from Toledo. They have a turnover themselves, so they're even in the game, 1 apiece.
That feels about right. Also this week, we found out that the Polar Express viewing in the Arkansas locker room was real. That it was someone like on the JV team or something like that. And someone asked Sam Pittman about it, and he basically said, people make mistakes. I've talked to that kid. It's fine. Which, sure, why not? We all have those things we watch for comfort.
I still have so many questions. Because like halftime's not that long, right?
No.
Like, you're not going into the locker room and be like, I'm going to watch a full movie. So I would assume, like, there's some scene in the movie that's like super inspired. Like, so like, my question, I guess, is like, what would your scene be if it's like, okay, you have like 15 minutes at halftime, you got to watch something to get yourself fired up, right? Like, what's your scene of a movie that you're watching?
I'm watching The Tango of Roxanne from Moulin Rouge. Because that always gets me ready to run through a wall. She's giving me such a look.
For me personally, I think it would be the scene in The Accountant where Ben Affleck does math. I think that would get me ready for the second half of a game.
I like it.
I mean, honestly, like, we've seen, right? So, not college football here, but so in the NBA, Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla said that he watched the movie The Town 4 times a week to get ready to coach the Boston Celtics. So, I mean, I'm just saying, different people have different movies that they respond to, and
if he said he watched The Departed 4 times a week, look at the Celtics.
The Town is
do
the better
not
Boston
knock my
movie.
beautiful boy.
Yeah, this is
For me, it's the "We all have knives" scene from The Lion in Winter.
good choice.
I just keep thinking about the dueling anthem scenes from Casablanca.
Ooh.
That would be good too. I could just listen to Bill Paxton's speech from Independence Day.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That would make me want to run through a wall. And then just clipped in afterwards, "Welcome to Earth." Because that I'd also like to talk about one of the great orators of our time, James Ignatius Harbaugh. I don't know what his middle name is. I don't actually know if his name is actually James. Hold up.
Given name Jim.
James Joseph Harbaugh. That's even better.
Oh, that's perfect.
James Joseph Harbaugh is such a fucking John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt fucking rhyme.
Da, 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 da.
James Joseph Harbaugh said one of my favorite things this week. Because first off, he changed his minds about chickens. Because originally he said he didn't eat chicken because it was a, what was it? It was a weak animal, or it was a.
They're a nervous bird.
There we go. He stopped that. But now he wants to talk about viruses.
Perfect.
Quote, I'm the iron wall that viruses bash against and shatter, he said. Then he shared his plans to work out of the system. Quote, do some more push-ups, eat an apple.
Where was this wisdom 3 years ago, Jim? Why didn't you tell us about this during peak pandemic?
Oh, I have a feeling he had some very strong opinions about viruses 3 years ago, and no one let him say that out loud.
What kind of apple, Jim? Because
It's a Red Delicious. I guarantee you it's a Red Delicious.
No.
I guarantee you.
Here's the thing. No, I think we're being too generous, because I can imagine him being like, I think I'm getting sick. I'm going to go eat some AirPods.
Like,
I'm going to eat an iPod Touch.
the idea that he would consume fruit,
And then he eats a Zune by mistake.
the idea that he would eat fruit of his own volition is shocking enough for me from what I know about this man. I feel like fruit is not something that even like comes into the system, but it's got to be like a Red Delicious apple, because there can't be an idea that he would eat different kinds of apples. That just doesn't exist.
There's just apple.
There's
and
apple.
It's the worst apple.
It is the worst apple. Yes.
I could see Harbaugh in terms of eating fruit. I could see him as someone who just eats like whole out, just eats it like whole.
Oh,
not,
he
like,
eats the
cut it
core.
up or anything. Not
Like
doing
a horse.
100%.
Like-
He
Yeah,
eats the
yeah.
core. He eats the core 100%, because there's vitamins in the core. Why would you throw out those vitamins?
He looks like Gurgi from the Black Cauldron chowing down on that thing.
One of my favorite things, they have these old like apple slicers, apple peelers that you crank and the peel comes off in the one little thing. And I would just sit there as a kid and eat the skin like spaghetti. I love apple skin. So I would just like, they would be cranking those apples, and I would just sit there and just like be sitting next to it and just like slurp the whole apple skin up in like one go, like a Lady in the Tramp style.
Jordan, if I set the over under at 3, how many of those do you think I have? You want to take the over?
I'll
or
take the over on that.
Mhm.
It's the under, just barely.
Okay.
I only have
Okay.
2.
I love those
2.5
things.
apple spiralizers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love just like spaghetti, just eating full apple skins. I love it.
That is one of the weirdest things you've ever said on this
That's
podcast.
and that's
said a lot of
impressive.
weird shit on this
That's
podcast.
impressive, because I'm a weird person. But yeah, James Jimothy Harbaugh loves apples and push-ups, and that's how he would solve COVID.
Can we take a second to talk about the way he looks in the picture that goes with the screen cap also?
Oh yeah.
There's something about his expression that's very Muppety.
Muppet, you could replace him with a Muppet, and I'm not sure that anyone would tell. He looks like
Sammy
Freddie
Eagle in a Michigan hat.
Okay, let me put it on my list real fast. Hold up.
This also looks like a still from the 5 p.m. news about the manifesto they got from the weird guy down the street.
You mean Connor Stallions?
With all the vacuums.
Yes.
I mean,
Live action updates. That's going to be 2 days old. Akron has forced double OT.
Ooh.
Double OT in Ypsilanti. Akron has had to settle for a field goal in double OT. So Eastern Michigan's got a chance to win. And hopefully, I don't know if Akron can hold Eastern Michigan here, but I don't know.
Do we have
see here.
Do we have an update about the sitting in ice bath challenge?
Sitting in ice bath challenge. It was a tie.
If you all don't know, what happened
Yes.
tonight was at the Eastern Michigan game in Ypsilanti, they were having a how long can you sit in a bucket of ice challenge?
That seems unsafe.
It's like 40 degrees out. And they kept adding ice every couple minutes, I believe.
no, thank you.
So it ended in a tie, you said, Kamish?
Yeah, it ended in a tie. I think the gymnastics and the baseball team tied. I'm trying to look at campus tour, CFB campus tours timeline real quick. That Akron field goal that made it a 3-point lead in double OT was, oh God.
A little
went
shaky.
through.
Okay.
It went through. It was a little bit of a line drive from 36, but it went through.
That's what matters.
Bowling Green cashed in the interception they got for a field goal.
Oh.
So they're up by 6 with 7 minutes to go.
Ooh.
Live action updates. Also, I didn't get the voice of my opinion on, the hype music.
Oh, yeah.
Just give me a split cut of all the Rocky montages.
Okay.
Just give me all that shit. Like, I mean, and have it end with Rocky 4 and that horrible beard in Russia.
That was Rocky 4. The more I've watched the Rocky movies, Rocky 4 is seriously my favorite, I think, just for like sheer craziness.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I will disagree though on the beard. I think Stallone looks great with the beard in Rocky 4.
I watched a movie with the other Stallone in it. What's his name?
It just
Frank
feels
Frank Stallone. Yes.
It feels so dyed, like the beard, the Russian beard. It feels like they put like a heavy amount of Just for Men gel on it. It just doesn't fit. But again, that's fine. The beard, it's just funny that it's like I'm out here working. I don't know. I love Rocky 4, so we'll just leave it at that.
It's got the robot. It has a fucking robot in it. What more do you want?
As we're speaking, touchdown, Eastern Michigan. The ball game is over.
Eastern wins.
Eastern Michigan wins.
On the home field.
Oh, on the home field.
The last time they're going to have a track around that gray field. They're ripping the track out.
Ugh.
Aww.
So now it's going to be gray as far as the eye can see, I assume. We need to talk about some new bowl things because we had some big bowl news drop today. First off, the Military Bowl is now sponsored not by defense contractor Northrop Grumman, not by someone else. This is the one in Annapolis. Mm-hmm. It's now sponsored by GoBowling.com. So we have.
Is this an ad for the concept of bowling?
It is. The company is, from what I can tell, is a company that lets you look up where bowling exists.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's sort of. Yeah, it's like sort of I don't know, like a trade group for bowling. I'm familiar with this company because they are and have for a long time been the sponsor of the NASCAR Cup Series race at Watkins Glen. So this is not the first time that they've done sports sponsorship. And actually, when they were doing their NASCAR races, it's like, wow, their name is Go Bowling. They should be sponsoring a bowl game, not a NASCAR race. Now they are.
The best is that friend of the show, Joey, in chat today, we posted a message about the other bowl game change, and he goes, always annoys me that GoBowling.com sponsors a NASCAR race, but not a bowl game. Not realizing that GoBowling.com had just announced that there was a bowl game. It was beautiful.
So we finally got a bowl game sponsored by bowling.
The other one,
I'm just not certain that they aren't a defense contractor.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know this.
The most American side hustle.
The other one is the Bahamas Bowl, which is no longer the Bahamas Bowl this year because it's moved to Charlotte. Got a sponsor, and the sponsor is Famous Toastery.
What?
Famous Toastery.
Sure.
Like the device on which I watch the Pac-12?
Yes, a very famous toaster. Famous Toastery has not tweeted since 2019.
Nope.
I just posted their last tweet with some giant ass mimosas. And all of our followers now have been on that last tweet being like, hey, you got to come back now.
You got to come back
guys,
now.
Hey, you're a bowl sponsor now. You got to be on here.
So I found Famous Toastery on Instagram because somebody, they went further back in the timeline. They said, we're really active on Instagram. And it was like from a tweet from September 1st, 2019. And so I found them on Instagram. And then I posted the picture. I was like, oh, we ready? Famous Toastery. And then I added Famous Toastery on Instagram. And they quoted us in their story. So they're active on Instagram. It's a brunch place. Scratch made breakfast, brunch, and lunch. They're not necessarily too active there. They posted a picture of build your own, build your own breakfast sandwich. I'm like, okay,
They do however have a mascot already. I dropped the mascot in the chat.
yes.
Is that a mascot or just a costume they have?
I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah, you got a point. I looked up the locations for this because I was curious at just like how big they were to be sponsoring this bowl game. So the bowl game is in Charlotte, and most of their locations are in kind of the metropolitan Charlotte area. I think the furthest west they go is Boone. The furthest north they go, they have a couple locations in Northern Virginia, like by Dulles Airport.
Okay.
The furthest east they go, they do have some out in, I think, Wilmington, North Carolina, and the furthest south is Myrtle Beach. So they have like a few kind of throughout, if you can imagine that kind of box of area, but most of their locations are still just in the metropolitan Charlotte area.
So it sounds like Pit Girl and I are the ones that are going to have to make a trip to go do recon.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to Famous Toastery.
Also, this place just sounds like the mellow mushroom of brunch. Like, I can't wait until there's a bunch of ACC network ads for this place that I will never go to.
This feels like one of these things that there was that bit of like hipsterism where everything was an eatery, or or an apothecary, or like all those words you would use to describe these places. And this being a toastery just feels right along. They do seem to have rather large mimosas. I'm going to assume they're mostly orange juice. I'm just saying.
Only one way to find out.
Only one way to find out. They do have catering. We'll do some menu dives later on because I feel like that's good for us to do eventually.
This seems like the kind of place that would add a breakfast taco and then rebrand themselves as Famous Toasteria.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Exactly right. Or they would do it on like a flatbread or something. Yes.
Toasteria famoso.
No, it's the caucasity is too strong. They couldn't do both words, just the one.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Excited for this.
Their thing is white bread. Like, this is the like.
Yeah. Too much.
If you mush white bread enough and you fry it, maybe.
They do have a whole section of their menu dedicated to Eggs Benedict, so they can't be that bad.
I'm looking at their tweet, like their last.
I need to not go to this place.
Their last tweet.
I assume, yeah.
The last tweet from September 29th, 2019. Who's got mimosas for Sunday brunch? We do. And I'm looking at these mimosas. These are in like red wine glasses. Mm-hmm. These are not champagne flutes. These are some heavy ass mimosas, man.
I just assume they're all orange juice though.
I'm also like super hung up on the punctuation too, because it's mimosas possessive. So mimosas, the mimosas what? We've got the mimosas.
They tweeted over 4 years ago, and we're grammar checking them.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens.
That person does not work there anymore. That social media manager is so gone. No one knows the password to this account anymore. Guaranteed.
Probably not.
Here's what I'll say about Famous Toastery. I'll make a pledge right now. If Pitt ever returns to the ACC championship game somehow, like obviously not this year, but like in a future year, I will go check out Famous Toastery.
There you go.
All right, podcast historians, write it down.
Ben, this means you.
This means you. Yeah, it's Ben.
Yeah, this is Ben.
Tomorrow, so let's get to some football now, some real football. Tomorrow night, we have Buffalo at Miami, which is a hell of an AFC East game. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. That's Maction. Shout out to Victoria at Dirtbag Queer, who was at the Buffalo game last night.
God bless her.
Who had to suffer through that. She just was...
I mean, Joey's our Canadian correspondent is a Bills fan also, so
I know
he was going through it.
Everyone,
and he angered a bunch of CFL fans some
He did.
Saskatchewan fans.
Absolutely.
Because he was so mad. He was just like,
blindsiding
whatever.
them.
I'm going to anger Saskatchewan fans because they had this happen at the end of the Grey Cup in like 2008
Call
or
that
9.
lashing out, okay? I don't fucking post when Bills fans are down. I don't post the Dallas Stars Buffalo Sabres like in the crease shot. I'm not mean like
God.
that. I should do that though at some point.
Don't do that.
I'm not an observer of the NFL, but I do appreciate the college football ass ending of that game.
Yes. But we have
The whole
another
game was
Buffalo in
ridiculous.
Miami.
Yes.
This Buffalo at Miami, this is going to be mild Buffalo again because Miami's good and Buffalo 8. And this is in Miami. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Miami's, I think they have a chance to lock up the, let me see here. I don't know if they're in the same division as Toledo, but hold on. No, they're not.
Man, if you put a gun to my head and threaten my family and ask me to like list the MAC divisions, I've been doing this for so long, I still cannot remember my MAC division.
Nope.
Just the most specific home invasion.
And everyone would die.
Yeah. Oh, everyone would be dead because I'd be like, I don't fucking know. MAC East, Northern Illinois.
Oh, look, I famously
no.
don't know who anyone is or who they play for.
The MAC East is all of the Ohio schools, and I think that's
Buffalo.
it. I think
Buffalo
and Buffalo.
Sure.
Okay.
And
then the MAC West is everybody else.
Okay.
Buffalo, Ohio.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
We should have the middle, redo the divisions with a middle division and an American division. We also tomorrow night have Central Michigan at Ohio. This is going to be big in terms of Ohio staying in the race for the MAC championship game.
Yep.
And the Chips need this if they're going to make a bowl.
Yeah, so the Chips need one more for a bowl. They're 5-5. Miami, Ohio has a 1-game lead on the Bobcats. So if Miami can win this one, they're probably going to go meet Toledo because Toledo's already clinched the MAC West.
Yes, they have.
So that's probably going to be there, which Toledo is still down 6 to Bowling Green, but Bowling Green is punting back to them. So still a lot of time left there.
On Thursday night, Boston College at Pitt at 6 p.m. on Thursday.
No. Don't look at us.
Arthur, what do you want to say about this game?
Okay, I have two things to say. The first thing is, so Pitt fans, I don't think we're excited about this game happening in the first place. But to make it even less exciting, the Pitt men's soccer team made the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
and their first NCAA tournament game is at home Thursday night at 7:00. So, that's so Pitt football is not even the only Pitt team playing that night. And, the other team might actually win, might actually be good. But I had an idea for a tailgate for the tailgate for this game.
Okay. And
I was disappointed to find that it's not going to happen because I think every single location of Boston Market in the Pittsburgh area is now closed. Boston Market has fallen.
That's so sad.
Is it?
What about
honestly,
Boston Pizza? Is Boston
for
Pizza
me,
that's not a thing.
We finally found a market where the line goes down.
But you've never heard.
Yeah, well,
you've never heard of Boston.
For me, I have not. I've not heard that. No.
Pennsylvania is the land of independent pizza joints. The only chains that survive here are like the big three.
So Boston Pizza is a thing, but I don't think there's one in Pittsburgh.
I don't think there's one in the whole state of Pennsylvania.
I think it's Canadian.
I don't. That sounds about right for Boston and pizza. But yeah, honestly, like for me, I went to Boston Market a lot growing up, so it is kind of sad to see it go permanently. But it's mainly sad to see it go permanently because I can't show up to a tailgate before a game against Boston College with Boston Market, which was going to be a great gag, and I can't do it.
Just go get a large Dunkin' iced and call it a day. Now, the problem is, guys, is that that's really the only big game on Thursday.
Don't look at us.
We have Mississippi Valley State at Alabama A&M at 6 p.m. on. There is LSUfootball.net says YouTube TV ? Or YouTube video ? They're not sure. And then Nichols at Southeast Louisiana. Nichols, who's already clinched the conference, I believe.
Yep.
And
They're
Southeast
close to
Louisiana,
South
who is like 1-8 or whatever. They're very bad.
Southeast Louisiana was projected to win this conference. They were preseason number 1. They had the preseason number 1 and 2 quarterbacks, and I don't necessarily know what happened at all.
They're 3-7.
The 3-7, yeah, but like they've had like a really, really rough year. They went 0-3, and then they just kept losing once they got to conference play. It was just not. They're 3-3 in conference, but yeah, they had a rough out of conference schedule.
So that's the only thing else on TV that night.
Pretty much.
Arthur, I have good news for you. I believe the one in Bloomfield is still open.
No, I mean
no?
it. So that one, like, there's still signage up and everything, but it doesn't appear to actually be like serving food and open to people.
Oh,
I actually walked by it like a few weeks ago, and just like because I was curious what what it looked like, and it wasn't open, and this was like in the middle of a Monday, so yeah, I have very, very, very low hope for that one.
R.I.P.
As of August 17th, this is New Jersey, but the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development on August 14th ordered the closure of 27 Boston Market locations after an investigation found the fast food chain had amassed more than $2.5 million in back damages, fees, and penalties, including more than $600,000 in back wages owed to 314 workers.
Additionally, one of the first things that comes up when you Google the one in Bloomfield is Bloomfield Boston Market hit with consumer alert. June 12th, 2023. Boston Market in Pittsburgh was hit with a consumer alert for improper employee personal hygiene. So,
Okay.
do with that information.
No, everyone, rush out to Boston Market.
Sounds about right. They should have sponsored the Fenway Bowl if they wanted good press from us.
Yeah, if we know anything about this podcast, is that if you sponsor a bowl cave, you become our favorite brand pretty much all of a sudden. My favorite defense contractor is whoever sponsors the Armed Forces Bowl out in Fort Worth.
We love Lockheed Martin.
Oh yeah, I used to be a Northrop Grumman person, but now I'm all about Lockheed Martin.
Haven't bought my groceries there in years.
On Friday, we do have 2 late games. One, South Florida at UTSA. For some late night Alamodome action. And then the real fun one, y'all, at 9:30 p.m., Colorado at Washington State.
Touchdown Toledo.
How much time left?
31-31. Minute 45 remaining. The Toledo fans are going crazy. They need the extra point to lead.
Ooh,
Rocky the
spicy.
Rocket is going ape on the sideline.
Colorado needs this game to be bowl eligible. They need both of their last 2 games to be bowl eligible. Washington State, I believe, also needs this game, or are they completely out at this point? I think they're actually out of bowl contention. Let me figure that out real fast. They're 4-6. They both need this game. So this is Colorado's on a 4-game slide. Washington State is on a 6-game slide.
You would think Washington State would be fun with the Pac-2's auto bids.
Oh, hey, do you know what I didn't fucking mention in our news? The Pac-2 won their legal challenge.
Yeah, they did.
So as of right now, they are the 2 voting members. Washington State and Oregon State are the 2 voting members of the conference. They're required to invite the other teams to meetings, but as non-voting members. This, of course, is going to be appealed.
God, that's beautiful.
But their argument was basically that these other teams will destroy the conference if we let them vote. It's not in their best interest to let them vote. And you know what? They're absolutely right.
That is true and accurate.
And someone said that, well, the only other lawyers were like, well, if we give Oregon State, Washington State this money, they're just going to use it to pay the buyouts for the Mountain West Conference members they want. Yep, absolutely right.
Mhm.
Here's a stack of cash, Mountain West.
Let that be a lesson to you. If you want to break something, don't leave first and then try to break
Yes,
it.
you
Stick around and break it and then
yes,
leave.
like this is man, this is like squatters' rights 101. You don't leave the fucking property till you have it.
Yeah, like this is just a bunch of old Pac-12 teams being very bad at order of operations. This isn't our problem.
It's and eventually a deal will be made. There has to be. That makes
Oh, yeah.
sense. But right now, it's a lot of fun.
Let's get petty.
Yes, fuck yes, get petty. If they're going to abandon your ass, take the money. It's your money. You're the conference now. I'm the conference now. This is what. Yes, sir.
So this is the extra point is good, by the way.
Okay. 32,
yeah, they are going to appeal this. So they have already appealed
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Because again, this is kind of like unrelated, and I don't know if you want to cut this or not here, Arthur, but like Draymond Green just choked Rudy Gobert in like an NBA game.
Whoa.
Oh, not just choked him. He dragged him
Like,
like
and
across
oh my
the
God,
road.
I
his
just
ass.
saw it.
Fuck.
Yes.
saw it.
So we can talk about it because that just happened.
I don't know if I want to talk about it. I'm just looking. You can leave this in because holy shit.
He wasn't even near him. He like ran to go choke him. And he
Huh.
got ejected, of course. But like,
Yeah, well, so there were like two other players like pushing and shoving, and both Rudy Gobert and Draymond Green like ran over, kind of, like when something happens in the NBA, like it's not like, oh, we're going to let him like put, like everyone kind of like comes in and pushes, and I mean, Draymond kind of knew who he was looking for. Like
Apparently so. Like,
Yeah.
he
He
hunted
do-
them down.
yes.
because they were not, it wasn't like I didn't see like the full wide angle from where they ran in, but I don't think they were like matched up on each other.
No, they weren't.
And Draymond knew exactly who he wanted to fight. Honestly, I mean, I would assume a lot of NBA players would say maybe something similar for who they'd want to fight, but that's going to be something that is people are going to be talking about it for a while.
There you go.
Yeah, that just happened along with Maction.
Sure.
Bowling Green needs to convert a 4th and 17 to stay alive. 50 seconds left.
Then let's talk about our Saturday slate.
Let's go.
Still deciding game of the week. Here's some
Yeah.
options. Let me guys know what you think. We start with Purdue at Northwestern. We have Michigan State at Indiana and Nebraska at Wisconsin. It's sort of our three lines. Purdue at Northwestern. I'm going to continue making bold predictions because I was so wrong last week that I'm just going to lean into this. Purdue at Northwestern is going to be a fucking high-scoring, high-flying game. I've changed my mind. I said it was going to be 10 points in the chat in the document. I'm deleting that. I've changed my mind. The vibes tell me this is like over 70 points total.
I can't wait for this game to be 2-0.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm going to wish it into existence. Michigan State and Indiana has the same vibe. They're both on at the same time and on the Big Ten network. So you're going to have to choose, or you're going to have to quad box it. One of them's on the Big Ten alternate or whatever. Michigan State and Indiana also has the same vibe of should be about 10 points, but fuck it. This is going to be like 100 points. Yep. We're going to have a giant Big Ten West score fest.
Sure.
Point explosion.
And then on God's own NBC at 6:30 p.m., Nebraska at Wisconsin.
Oh, NBC spent all this money for this.
The nation gets to watch the Anxiety Bowl between two teams. Nebraska hoping for a bowl, and Wisconsin just getting waxed by Northwestern.
So much red. All of the red.
Oh, I hope they wear those really awful. They're not going to do those awful uniforms. The ones with like the N and the giant W on them. You remember those? Those are
Oh
fucking
yeah,
awful. This is, I mean, both of these teams.
the Weasley sweater uniforms.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in the Big Ten West that are at 5-5, and they're all clawing
Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
This is Thanos ass division. I'm gonna miss the Big Ten West guys. I'm glad it went out just going as stupid as it came in. So of those three, Purdue Northwestern, Michigan State, Indiana, Nebraska, Wisconsin, which of those feels the most like just completely loopy for this week?
I mean, I still kind of have the Friday night one above them. In
Colorado, Washington State. Yeah, I probably.
Yeah.
That's.
I kind of have that late night Pullman bowl elimination game.
Weather and Pullman.
Yeah, I don't know what the.
Of the three that you listed, I can make a really good argument for two of them, which is why I think it's the third, Michigan State and Indiana, that will end up being the weirdest.
Got you.
Nebraska, Wisconsin just gets me, especially because it's on NBC. The fact that it's like a primetime game on NBC is what sells it for me. Because like everybody's gonna see this.
Let's see. What's the counter programming to that on the other major networks? Here we go.
Syracuse, Georgia Tech on ACC network.
Washington's at Oregon State on ABC. Texas, Iowa State on Fox. Like it's not like the alternates aren't great, guys. So people might actually watch this game. Caltech. Cal at Stanford on the Pac-12 network.
Caltech.
Sorry.
North Alabama at Florida State on the CW.
Oh, we got a CW doubleheader this week.
We got a CW doubleheader, and NC State's not involved in either one.
Since we were looking at the major networks, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean that's yeah.
C doubleheader.
It does look like it's not going to be raining Friday night, but it will be in the 30s.
Cold prime.
It is going to rain earlier this week, and it will rain on Saturday and Sunday too. So maybe if things shift just a little bit, it could get messy.
Maybe. We'll see. But I mean, that one, just because if either team loses that game, they're out of bowl contention altogether. I also feel like there's a ton of what we're calling the bowl eligibles.
Mm-hmm.
Like those feel kind of like you don't have any more. You got basically one other chance after this if you lose this one. And so that kind of puts a little bit of a heightened pressure. I feel like Nebraska and Wisconsin have both been playing kind of awful.
Yes.
And they both really, really need this because really, Nebraska's got to go back home and play Iowa. And Wisconsin has got to go, and I believe they play for Paul Bunyan's Axe against Minnesota, who could wind up being, they both could wind up being 5 and 6 next week. And that would be
my
God. Yeah. So I feel like things are getting kind of tight to make these bowl games. And
I'm fascinated by Purdue at Northwestern because both of those teams just came out of nowhere last week and did crazy things. So I'm like, does Purdue have that kind of gas against Northwestern? Like that's the questions I got. Also on Saturday, we've got things like Nevada at Colorado State, which has only been played 18 times in history. That's weird. I would have never guessed that. I would have guessed this has been one of those that's like, oh, they've played 95 times, and I have no clue what to do with that. They don't even have a trophy, which again, I feel is weird. Colorado State and Nevada should have a trophy. Like a mountain? I don't fucking know. I've never been there, but it feels like that should be something.
Well, I mean, that's it really, if you think about it, Jay Norvell left to go to Colorado State.
Oh, that's right. There's bad blood here.
There is bad blood.
This is the bad blood bowl.
Yes, and it was our Sickos game of the week last year when they played each other.
I can't believe you remember that, man. That was a year ago.
Why? Look, I mean, there's a reason I'm the commish.
I know, because you have a better memory. Yeah, there is. And the reason is because you have a better memory than I do.
I have a better memory.
That's why you're the commish.
By that you mean I'm just a memory at all?
I can't even. That was 2022. I wasn't even blitzed on painkillers at that point. I was theoretically, conscious at that point.
Yeah, but yeah, this there is some. I don't think it has the juice this year like it did,
I agree.
Because it was kind of early in the season, and they were both off to like bad starts. Or I think Nevada was actually not that bad. but then they went on like a horrible losing streak after that game. They lost that one.
Yeah, and
was a
continue the
lot of
slide to
turnovers
this
in the
season.
game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be a good one, but I don't necessarily think it has the juice for the top spot this week.
It is on Mountain West Video, which means there will be only 2 cameras, and every
Yes.
replay will have to be done from like 50 yards away, which is always fun.
Perfect.
I love watching Mountain West game replays because they're always like, let's get another view, and it's the same view.
I see. What I want is I want them to bring back the 1990s glow puck effect from the NHL and use that for one of their 2 camera angles. And I don't care which. Pick one and turn it on all the time.
A phosphorescent ball. I like this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did you hear about the crypto conference where they blinded a bunch of people?
Yes.
Because instead of using black lights, they used UV lights on stage.
Mm-hmm.
they
Oh
they
my
blinded
gosh.
a bunch of people.
Oh
When you said crypto conference there for a second, I thought like you were talking about like an athletic conference, but like based on crypto.
Oh, that'd be great though.
So like the Pac-12.
That's where I went. Yeah.
That's what the Pac-12 needs now is crypto financing.
Pour one out for the Bitcoin Bowl.
I know.
Pac-12 getting
One
into
time.
NFTs any day now.
That would be Pac-12 getting into NFTs right now would be the most Pac-12 thing on fucking earth.
I feel like the Pac-12 has been an NFT for these many years.
Well, the weird thing is, I feel like every few weeks you see like so and so's launching an or getting an NFT. It's like what now?
Now, when the
Now?
market,
Like Disney, like this week it came out like Disney's doing an NFT thing. It's like
congrats Disney, you are
Okay.
literally 3 years behind the collapse of the market or whatever.
I mean,
What if we did pin trading, but there were no pins?
Yes. God, that makes me angry the way you just described that. I need to go watch Dan Olson's NFT line go up video again just to make myself feel better about it. We have weekend action. Kent State at Ball State is on Saturday. I don't
Yeah,
know why they got to be on Saturday.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Is this a rivalry game?
got-
Uh,
I mean, they're all MAC
the-
games are rivalry games.
the state, the 2 teams that are not real states game.
No, this game has only been played like 30 times total. This is a baby MAC rivalry.
Baby Mac.
Pig Girl, I don't know what to tell you. Some of these MAC games just aren't like don't have like the 100-year history. I always think they do.
it just feels weird for like all of these teams, except like Buffalo. I get, but like,
They only started playing in 77.
huh?
I don't know because
Well,
these
the MAC didn't fully form until like the early 90s,
like Akron was in the
Uh,
MAC for a long time. They were independent.
until like 92.
yeah, they were a very late comer into the MAC, even though
Yeah.
they've been there forever.
I think
Okay,
that's what it
I
was.
mean, if you're me, they have been there forever.
Okay, you know
Yeah.
what? You know what?
Yeah.
To
Son
me,
of a
the Mac
bitch.
arose fully formed from the earth.
From,
I don't
from
know what
Athena's
to tell you.
head, burst forth
Yeah.
from Athena's head.
Yeah.
Or from Zeus's
Yeah.
thigh or whatever. Yes,
If by Athena you mean Athens, Ohio.
named after Athena. So yes, absolutely. Okay, so
From the corpse of SeaWorld and Geauga Lake. Sorry, that was Aurora,
that's
but well.
a deep pool there.
Mhm.
Some other fun stuff on Saturday before we get into our break. We do have UTEP at Mitsu, Temple at UAB, and then Illinois at Iowa.
What's the over under on this game?
That's a great
I saw
question.
like I saw like 30.
B7, B7.
I want to read this quote from this is from the SB Nation Blackheart Gold Pants Iowa blog. Hawkeyes open as favorites versus Illinois thanks to high-powered offense.
Just the unmitigated snark.
The Iowa
Love it.
offense made progress against Rutgers. Now Vegas is calling for more.
30 and a half.
30
was
and a
where
half.
it-
Yes, I saw
Oh.
it. 30 and a half. So they I was at home. Yeah, I was at home on this one.
This is the
Um,
last time that Troy Taylor is going to punt at Kinnick. Troy Taylor,
Oh.
Iowa punter, is going to the NFL. We're trying to.
He's going pro.
He's going
He'll
pro.
get drafted.
I-
He'll get drafted.
I just want you to know also that when you Google Illinois, Iowa, the first thing that came up was the football game. But then under that, Google has given me top stories. Illinois man fatally shot while waterfowl hunting in Iowa. Iowa DNR. Illinois man died after being shot in the face by fellow hunter in Iowa.
You got Dick
Whoa.
Cheney. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Got Dick Cheney. Holy shit. That dude, the fact that the dude who got shot by Dick Cheney apologized to Dick Cheney for being shot is always my favorite thing. Like that.
I'm sorry, I put my face in the
Yep.
face in the way of your birdshot.
Yep. That's how you know someone has their thumb on your life. Yeah, Troy Taylor's going pro, and like, good for him. You only have so many punts in your life. You might as well not waste them in Iowa. So there you go. Good for him.
Toledo, since they won, they converted that 4th and 2 for like a 52-yard touchdown to win 32-31. They're doing an unprecedented thing that doesn't happen. It is an opposing team field storm.
Oh, I love these.
Oh, yes.
So they are doing.
I remember Wazoo during the COVID season, I believe. Wazoo rushed Washington's field, I believe. I love opposing fields.
I wonder if that's what Puddles was doing at UCF. I'll have to ask him.
That's like he was rushing the field. Just him and some friends. If you want to come tell us about how wrong we are about any of the stuff we just talked about, please join our Patreon and Discord for $5 a month. You can come yell at us in person. You can tag us in things. You can point out weird stuff. You can be part of our group that decided that they want to know every fast food restaurant that's near to every stadium. That project is taking on a life of its own that I'm like, we're going to have off-season content for fucking ever. Because we're going to know like what Wingstop is nearest to every stadium.
They have is like Mace, and I mean
that dock is just exploding.
This dock is just, it's like if they're bored at their real job, they just hop in the dock.
Yep, it's
and they just go, and then we get complaints because the coordinates that they're using are on like specific sides of the stadiums.
Oh, if you start from the other side of the stadium, it's only I love this.
Well, like if you'd have started from the actual stadium in Google instead of the coordinates, it would have been 1.2 miles, and we would have been in the top 10 of the closest Sonic or whatever.
Once again,
so ridiculous. I love
what we
this.
do is so good a lot of times because it is taking real information and using it for the wrong reasons, and that's what we love to do. Because we know everyone loves to see rankings. We know you people are rankings junkies. And so instead of doing things like top 10 teams based on vibes alone, which Kamish will not let me do anymore, and Kamish also will let me do things like put small font on things because that's tricky.
Hey, that's like a canonical thing that Penn State does. You should let Jordan do it too.
Exactly.
Done it twice.
I get to do it once a year. I get once a year on this.
He's done it twice, and I was like,
I got to help last time. It was great.
I was like, what shade of gray can I make this so it's just legible enough?
We all get in Pantone arguments.
Look, I love our followers, and I'm just like, we don't need to mess with them too often. But I'll give you like every few months we can do that. It's fine.
But no, but I enjoy doing these more because this is like arguable stuff. Because it's both completely factual and again, because we're using like Google Maps, people right. It's beautifully stupid, and that's what I love to do. Because it's like, because everyone has a memory of this week we did Sonic, right? Everyone has a memory of going to the Sonic by your stadium. And then everyone's like, well, mine was closer than that. Well, if you go around the tracks, well, there's a cut through here you don't even know about. If you cut through this dorm, it's a lot closer. Then we found out that the one for Hawaii was on a different island. So it's like 90 miles away as the crow flies, but that's, not walking distance. So do I count that or not?
I love the people take this seriously.
Yes.
It's like, no, ours is closer. We demand a recount.
Oh, then I opened up the fucking Pandora's box of, is the original Sonic in Stillwater, Oklahoma or not? Because people lost their minds about that. Because there's apparently 2 like rival places in Oklahoma that think they're the original Sonic. And the one in Stillwater was not named Sonic, but had like the original people or something. There was a big deal. And so like our mentions turned into a dumpster fire for a bit. People screaming about which is the original Sonic. It was great.
A thing that never happened.
No, it's wonderful. This is great. Everyone yell in our mentions. Sure. We're not taking Elon's money, so we're not getting paid for this. This is our entertainment. So for $5 a month,
can't wait
come yell
until you start shit about the Balkans again.
Oh yeah, we're gonna fucking go with Balkan Twitter. Hey, you know what? We need to return Moldova to, let's see, what country? Hungary.
Oh no,
Moldova is Hungary now.
Bad Jordan. Go lie
Also,
down.
Romania is
Strip
Albanian. Decide. Romania is part of Greater Albania. It's fine.
Jordan, don't make me get the spray bottle.
Also, Macedonian, part of Greater Poland now, okay?
We are being baited in the Discord.
Are we?
Oh?
I'm scared.
Oh, okay. It's the Ed Ogeron shirtless
Oh, no.
ad for Roback.
Oh, yes.
I'm scared.
it's great.
I don't know what. I guess he's like trying to sell like Roback shorts or something,
Yeah.
because typically they're just like polos or whatever that are like $94 or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't. It's just Coach O shirtless boxing.
He's looking
It-
good.
Yeah, this is definitely a shorts ad because there's like
He's not wearing any other clothing.
just shorts, but like there's shots of just like here's
And
just the shorts.
He's
I'm
got a
Coach
good,
O and
he's
I'm-
got a
I'm
good
punching
butt. Look
stuff.
at that butt. He's got a good butt.
I don't know that I ever wanted to look at Coach O's butt.
I'm looking at it now, and it's good. He's got cake. It's good. $5 a month. Join our Patreon. We're still in the ad, folks.
Coach O got that no burrs cake.
You know, this is the most
we call that-
honest
we call that a
ad
king-
for the Patreon we've
We call
ever
that a
done.
king cake.
King cake.
No,
Oh my
don't do
god.
that.
Find the baby.
We're not in season for the kid cake.
I don't want to find the baby.
No,
I don't want to find the baby.
Don't find the baby.
Oh no, y'all went there.
Go to our
There's your podcast
go to
title.
our store. Sickoscomedy.org. We have things there. I'm dropping some new stuff. I just did a new surf logo I like a lot. I'm going to put that on a sticker, I think.
It's very good.
Also, listen to Message Board Geniuses podcast. Follow their Twitter account because they're going it right now. They are having the most fun they could possibly have. And I cannot read that stuff without making myself want to slam my computer shut. We have a YouTube channel. Go to it. We have a Substack. Follow it to get our Sicko synopses every week, our recaps. And as always, if you love comfortable licensed apparel, go to Homefield Apparel for 15% off. Use our offer code. Pardon me. Yes, yes, that's 3 ha's for 15% off your first order. We have a Black Friday deal coming soon. We will post about that.
Yes.
Y'all are going to help us to go to the moon on this.
Yeah.
Line go up.
When we post, just basically click our link, and whatever the code we give you, you got to go through our link in order for it to be credited to us. So just go through our link. Appreciate it. And we post that link and just use the code that we type out.
This is the best. This is the best kind of Christmas gift you can give to people because people love home field stuff because it's soft, it's cozy, it's comfortable, and they have so many different shirts for so many different schools that you can find something someone will like.
I'm getting Puddles a bomber jacket for
Beautiful.
Christmas.
Yes.
He doesn't
Those are
listen,
great.
so he won't know.
And as always, we have our wonderful Sickos Shirt Showdown using offer code committee for our special shirts. This week, y'all, 2 bangers. Because it
Bangers.
is the Battle of the Domes. So we have an Idaho Vandals Kibby Dome shirt and an Idaho State Holt Arena shirt with a fucking tiger jumping out of it. It is so good. Both of these shirts are amazing. Use our offer code committee to get 25% off those shirts for our Sickos Shirt Showdown.
Yeah, I mean, I just bought 2 shirts myself.
Yeah.
with the code. So it's almost like I designed the code to give myself a discount. But yes, we're offering it to you to get them.
Y'all,
Get them while they're hot.
we do
The
all this
collection is
because
going
we
down.
get wonderful things for ourselves too. And we're just hoping to bring you along. We can't all be, however, pitfluencers like someone on here, but
Oh,
I don't know what you're talking
I don't know
about.
what you're talking about.
No.
Other games this weekend. Some of my favorites on here are like in the earlier time slots. We just said Illinois at Iowa, but Baylor at TCU is also in that early time slot. And I have a problem with this game because they've renamed it. You know what this game used to be called?
This is the revival.
This is the Revivalry. It's now called the Bluebonnet Showdown.
Gross.
No.
Hate it.
Ugh.
the Blue Bonnet Battle.
Okay, that's even worse.
I also remember last year we talked about if this game was called the Holy War, and I think some people call it that, but it's not the Holy War. That's BYU Utah.
The idea that this is, first off, Bluebonnets aren't out right now. That's just
No.
not a thing. That's a spring thing.
They don't come out until like March.
The idea that this is the Bluebonnet battle, whatever, this is no. It seems like both of the student governments are super into this. That feels correct. This feels like a student government thing. No offense to anyone who's on student government, but this is lame. This should be a fun game in terms of just like these teams hate each other. I think I remember, if the story's correctly, the rumor is that Baylor burned down TCU, because TCU used to be down near Waco, and that Baylor burned the campus down. Like that's what the history says. So there's a lot of bad blood here, which is always a good way to like have a game like this.
Is that the only case of a rival burning down the opposite's campus?
That can't be, because like this thing has been around for so long that like torching buildings was still okay until like the 40s, I think. So they can't be the only example of that. I'll find more.
Arson was fine until World War II.
Yes, and then everyone got real picky about it. Also on that early time slot, North Texas at Tulsa. I have no clue what to think about this game, because honestly, North Texas is still the worst defense in the country. They're giving up like 450 plus yards a game over and over and over. But Tulsa also has been really bad, minus their stalwart stand against Tulane. I don't know. That's another great ACC, like American weird one. But in this like middle sicko-ness level thing, there is a game that I might want to bump towards the top, Kamish, and that's Cal at Stanford on the Pac-12 network.
Yeah.
I have a special thing in my heart for this game. I almost went to Stanford. Okay? Like I visited, I got in, I almost went there. I went to Cal. I visited Cal. I loved Cal. I'm not a West Coast person. That's why I didn't go. I realized quickly that West Coast was not my coast. The girl's looking at me with like, "Oh, honey, you thought you were a West Coast person for a little bit." Yeah, I did when I was like 16. Okay, I thought the West Coast was my thing. Okay, it clearly was not. But this game has so much animosity, and as it go, like both teams are doing very poorly this year, which makes this even more fun because this is their season. This is just haymakers.
This feels like it's going to be two nonagenarians gumming each other to death.
Yep. Except the Cal's offense is slightly better. Like
they have one tooth.
Yep. And that one tooth may be enough to get to break skin. That's all you need. That's all you need.
This is classic ACC in that way.
It is classic ACC.
Kamish, don't make that face. You invited me on this podcast. This is your fault.
Yeah, just gumming at each other.
Num 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 num.
And of course we have two of our favorite mascots. The horror bear who drinks through his eye like a Norse god. And the world tree. This is basically Norse mythology in one rivalry game.
Yggdrasil.
Yes. That I'm surprised because they rebuild the tree from scratch every year at Stanford. They build a new one every year. I'm surprised someone has not done I can never say it. Yggdrasil. I'm surprised no one has made an Yggdrasil tree with like the snake and the roots and everything.
Stanford folks, if you're listening. Although I was also a fan of the year that the tree was a palm tree.
Yes. Oh, they've had some really great trees in the past.
It looked kind of like an Alolan Executor, didn't it?
It did a little bit, yeah.
Kamish, an Alolan Executor is a Pokemon.
It's very tall.
It's based off a Pokemon who starts as eggs and somehow evolves into a palm tree with eggs on top.
But like a short one. And then the Alolan one is very, 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 very tall.
Whatever.
It's also a psychic type at that point too.
Whatever you say about Pokemon.
Oh no, Alolan Executor is a dragon type.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Sorry.
Again, this is a foreign language to me. Whatever. No, last year, Cal and Stanford was our Sickos game of the week,
and it was a crazy ass game that year too. There we go. You can't even see his head because he's so tall.
He's so tall.
Okay, that's it.
If you look in the chat, you can see his head.
There we go. Oh, there he is. He's a tall boy.
Okay.
And he reproduces by budding?
All Pokemon do, I assume. No, you take them to the daycare.
You leave them at the daycare, and then they're eggs.
Oh my god!
Just slam them together. Give one of them an instance, you slam them together.
And one of him and a Ditto, and you don't ask questions.
Anytime you put anything with a Ditto, you really shouldn't ask questions. I'm in love with this piece of chewing gum.
It's like creating a man from clay.
I mean, they're talking about stuff, and I'm just like, whatever you're saying, I have no idea. they're
And on
speaking.
the third day, the Lord created.
And again,
Commission,
this is
this
just
is a
like
ditto.
There's the Ditto. Hey, Ditto.
that's great.
I can't wait to get us streaming on Twitch. And I'm gonna
you
load
know,
you up with like Pokemon
whatever.
Red, Fire Red. And we're just gonna go.
Sure.
Commission
Pit Girl and I are just
Pokemon.
going to show Pokemon to each other for the entire rest of the show.
I mean, the only thing I really know about Ditto is like it's like an old Patrick Swayze movie, Ghost or something like that. Where
Yes,
Yep,
that's
yep, yep.
Ghost.
that was it. Yeah, where he instead of saying "love you back," he just said "Ditto." So now that's what I think the Pokemon does. So sure.
Okay, Ditto, but the voice is Patrick Swayze going, Ditto. I'm gonna have to recut an episode with that now.
She's like the wind.
So
All right.
tell me what you feel about Cal Stanford, Kamish.
No,
Is this going to be in our
again,
top? Can we get this like further up our list?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to do a lot of shuffling. Like these bowl eligible bowls, whatever. They're tough. I mean, like Syracuse and Georgia Tech is up there. Nebraska, Wisconsin. I mean, there's a lot of bowl eligibles, and there's gonna be like. Because I feel like this, if like one of these teams loses these, there's a chance that they're not going to get bowl eligible.
Yeah.
And there's 5 of those this week, so Cal is still technically alive for a bowl game, and I know Stanford would love to just take them out of that. Last year their game was pretty crazy. Cal won it 27-20. The funny part is that Stanford decided to kick a field goal with like 3 seconds left.
I remember this.
And he made like a 50-some-odd yard field goal. And as the clock ticked down, as the field goal went through, the clock hit 0, and you could see the Cal coach celebrating. And it looked like the Cal coach was celebrating that Stanford made a field
I
goal.
remember this. I remember this.
So that was great. But I don't know. I'm gonna look at this one.
Okay.
Stanford's. We can move it up.
I mean,
for sure. I feel like
another
I
one.
feel like it's warning.
Another one of those bowl eligible games is Boise State, Utah State.
Yeah,
and like historically, Boise has
yes
destroyed Utah State.
Coachless Boise, though.
Right.
I know.
A headless Boise, trying to be bowl eligible, trying to save this season and not have a losing record for the first time in decades. Other fun stuff in the afternoon, in like middle to late afternoon, or actually these are all early. Rice at Charlotte. Rice is still without JT Daniels, which is annoying for my very much pro Rice bias. Rice needs this game to be bowl eligible. They're 4-6. And their last game is against FAU, which I think might get them, even though FAU has been looking a little rough lately. They need both of these games. So, yeah, I think Charlotte is not who they were when they played Memphis, and I think that Rice gets this game. There's my bold prediction. How about Pirates versus the Navy?
No.
Like, this is, I mean, a traditional thing, a traditional battle.
So it's in Annapolis. East Carolina is 2-8
on ESPN.
They did just get a win.
ESPN News at 11 a.m.
That's right.
Weird that this is on ESPN News.
They don't really put games on ESPN News anymore, do they?
No. The over/under in this game is 32.5.
Yeah.
Is this a game? I guess is the question.
I mean,
it is a game.
It's a conference game.
This is
It is
warfare.
a conference game.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Warfare is newsworthy.
Sid Meier's Pirates.
Did you know that Hawaii and Wyoming have a trophy?
Yes.
Yes.
I did not know this.
Yeah, it's great.
I also did not know this.
I don't fucking remember things. You know
You
that.
don't remember shit. So
Kamish, I remembered something.
Yay! Somebody remembered something, and it's not just me.
The trophy is called the Polo. Let me find it.
Paniolo Trophy.
Paniolo Trophy. Yeah.
Yes.
It is a representation of a cowboy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Paniolo is the Hawaiian word for cowboy.
That's right.
This is a trophy game, and
may I propose that we call the rivalry Hawaii-oming?
I like that, Hawaii-oming.
Oh, Wyoming.
Miss dropped the trophy in the, or Beth dropped the trophy in the chat. It is a cowboy chasing a cow. It's what you want in a cowboy trophy.
I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
It's not necessarily. I think this is like the remade one. Like the first one got lost and then
It got left
remade
somewhere,
this
I
one?
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody. Yeah.
I like the like doorstop chunk of wood
Yeah.
that they
yeah.
put on
I'm
it so
not
that
sure. I guess it has,
downhill.
It has motion, I guess. Yeah. It's kinetic. We do have 2 CW games this week. The first one is Duke at Virginia, which, like, Duke has been so like up and down. They're not healthy, but Virginia is Virginia. I'm really looking forward to the Commonwealth Cup in the week. I can just say that, because that game is going to be just like haymakers trying to survive that. Also, good.
we can only hope that Anthony Colandrea continues to get a lot of playing time
Hell
for
yeah.
Virginia.
I also want to say the other CW game is North Alabama at Florida State.
Boy.
Florida State, by the way, is really channeling their inner SEC, as they're probably soon going to be members at some point, by scheduling a cupcake the game before rivalry week. So good for them. They're learning.
I posted both versions of the Paniolo Trophy in the chat.
The original's
so you can see.
awesome.
Oh,
I like the lariat. Lasso? Lariat? What's the difference? I don't know.
A throwy rope.
One of them's a lariat, one of them's a lasso. A lariat is a rope used to lasso.
This is not
That's
helpful.
not helpful at all.
Because none of those are a rope or really going to be used to lasso.
Other stuff that is going on. We talked about the Friday game already, the USF UTSA game. On Saturday, we have SMU at Memphis, which should be another interesting proof of concept for SMU being just like the murder ponies this year. They are scoring so incredibly well and sort of at will against lesser opponents. Memphis has shown a lot of fight lately. I don't think that they're a lesser opponent, so this is probably going to be the most backbone SMU has faced in a while.
Mm-hmm.
SMU still has an outside shot at, I believe they're on the inside track to be in the American title game with Tulane. But Tulane is
Tulane is 6-0 in the American. SMU is 6-0.
Right.
UTSA is 6-0. Memphis is 5-1. Memphis has been known to throw up a lot of points, and SMU has been known to throw up a lot of points. This could be a lot of points.
Well, so the UTSA Tulane thing will solve itself because they play the last week of the season.
That's right.
Which is
and this kind of solves the other side of the thing here.
That is the Friday
Kind
game
of.
after Thanksgiving, which we don't deserve things that good, guys.
Should be fun. I think there's going to be points. The over-under is like 66.5.
That feels low.
It does.
Not in rivalry. We do have the Sunflower Showdown this week. Kansas State at Kansas at 6 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Kansas hasn't won this game since like 2007.
That's rough, buddy.
That's real rough, buddy. And I don't think this is the game that they're going to win it in.
I will say that I do think it's interesting that Kansas hasn't won this game since 2001 or whatever, but they still hold a fairly sizable lead in the overall record.
Oh, yeah.
On this game.
Because Kansas State was ass for decades.
Like even assier than Kansas. And that's saying something.
Kansas's assiness only lasted a decade or so. Kansas State's lasted for almost, I'd say, a greater part of a century, which is saying something. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
We lost Rebecca. We'll get her back.
What?
Beth, come back.
There she is. Hi, Beth. What'd you do?
The internet broke.
It happens.
Oh.
I was like, I unmuted myself, and then Beth disappeared. I'm like, did I accidentally knock her out?
Beth, how you feeling about playing Cincinnati again? Like, this is you're
it's
back into your people.
Well, I don't have to watch it, so it's fine.
You're not going to go to this one?
I can't go to this one. Yeah, we had to be good enough to get yet another inexplicable night game this year, so we were not good enough.
Yeah, this is 1:30 on ESPN Plus.
It sure is. We've been put in the witness protection program where we belong.
What does Pitt have to do to get in the witness protection program and not on Thursday when everyone is going to see us lose to Boston College?
They set this up for the Phil Yurkovich revenge game.
That's what it is.
But
I mean, maybe he'll do the tight end thing and run for like 200 yards as a Wildcat quarterback. You never know.
Maybe.
Well, Pat Narduzzi has refused to say who's going to play quarterback this week. So you're
Oh.
telling me there's a chance.
That's always a good sign.
It's me. I am the Pitt quarterback this week.
That makes sense. You still have eligibility.
I do.
NC State at Virginia Tech is another weird one. NC State is not, this is on the ACC network. It's not on the CW. So NC State loses some of their powers. It is, however, a game in Blacksburg at 2:30 in the afternoon. Sandman just does not hit the same at 2:30 p.m. Like, I love it. It just does not hit the same. At the same time, I might recommend that you watch UNLV at Air Force. That game actually should be really good. Air Force is definitely not on the correct trajectory.
Yeah, they lost 2 in a row.
Before we get too down on Sandman at 2:30, keep in mind that is 3:30 Eastern, and for us, the sun goes down about 8 minutes after.
Okay, that's
that.
right. Yeah. So this might actually be a night game.
The glorified night game.
Yeah, so maybe when Metallica says enter night, 8 minutes later,
Oh, that's
it's night.
pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I interest you in Sam Houston State 3 in a row?
3 in
If
a
they-
row. 3 in a row.
If they beat Western Kentucky, I'm not sure what's going to happen in Bowling Green, Kentucky, because that might be enough to get lots of people fired.
Yeah, Western's 5-5.
They are
Western
sliding
Kentucky's 5.
hard right now.
Yeah, they're not. They were picked to be at the top of the Conference USA standings. They are 3-3 in Conference USA. They are 5-5 overall.
That's rough, buddy.
They tend to have this problem, which is that second half ineptitude tracker thing. Is they don't necessarily play well enough to score points in the second half. The only thing is that Sam Houston has lost to 2 teams that have not scored anything in the second half. So this may help Western Kentucky get bowl eligible here, or Sam Houston. Let's see if they can keep it rolling.
If they win this game, are Commissioner, are you and Jordan going to Huntsville to go watch their season ender?
Who are they playing for their season ender?
I think it's Mitsu.
Ooh.
I might go to that just for kicks. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's Mitsu.
Okay, that sounds like fun. I might go to that just for fun.
11:25. What is that? That's
I think you should.
That is Saturday, I believe.
How far away am I from Huntsville?
I am like 3.5 hours from Huntsville.
I think I have to take like all back roads from where I'm at.
I know you take 10 over, then cut up.
That's actually longer, but okay.
Sickos Committee uses Google Maps.
Yeah, it's over 4 hours.
Let's see how
It's like right at 4 hours.
Texas big.
Yeah.
Texas big.
Texas big.
only 3 hours for me. Ooh, that's around the edge. I might do that. Good idea.
Thanks.
Wonder if I send the band a message, I could just like take my clarinet or something. Okay, it still feels weird for me to go to football games and not be playing. Like, it's still so ingrained in me that when I go to a game and I see a band and I'm not playing, it feels weird to me.
Just bring a kazoo.
I mean, if I were at Rice, then yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to take my oboe?
I'll take my fucking oboe.
No, okay.
Can I come play oboe with your band, guys? I want to play Semper Paratus with your band, playing oboe.
We have to be the only non-double read specific podcast where we can have an argument about whose oboe we want to take to the Sam
Exactly.
Houston State game.
No, this is fucking band nerd podcast, whether Commish wants it to be or not.
Mhm.
The world's only marching oboe.
I wish that were true. I fucking wish that were true,
Yeah,
big girl.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Goddamn, I wish that were true. If I snap my fingers and make that happen, I would make it happen. I'm gonna list 2 bowl eligible games and see what you guys think about these. We have UCF at Texas Tech and Marshall at South Alabama.
Bees.
Yeah.
What?
What bees?
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 Yeah.
Which bees?
What? Oh, that's Syracuse and Georgia Tech.
We could unleash them at the Marshall game. That would be fun.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. So Mobile, we're gonna drop bees on Marshall.
We talk about Sun Belt being such like a good like compact conference, but then also Marshall and South Alabama as a conference game. So like yes, Sunbelt does a better job than most. That's
Division
still-
wise,
I mean,
division wise,
Marshall-
yes.
Marshall is like all the way down in the ass end of West Virginia, so it's probably not as far as you were envisioning it being.
Okay.
It's still pretty far,
I mean,
but like not as far.
I mean, it's not having Idaho in the Sun Belt, which they did twice.
Yeah, Marshall's done in the Kentucky, Ohio,
Mhm.
West Virginia tri-state.
Okay, that's close.
It's about
Down
a,
in the pointy bit.
it's about a 12-hour drive.
Kamish, is this the week that Tulane fucks around and finds out against FAU?
Next week.
Against UTSA, you think?
I mean, that's
don't
not
know.
fucking around and finding out though. That's like
No, but they'll fuck around all season, and then next week they will find out.
Gotcha.
They're storing up the finding out.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd like to think Tulane. I like to think they finally put it together, but I just don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know. Hopefully they get healthy. That's all I'm asking for.
some games that we don't probably have a ton to say about. I'm going to say about. If y'all have anything to say, shout it. Old Dominion at Georgia Southern, New Mexico at Fresno State, San Diego State at San Jose State. This is a Hoke already fired game.
Retired.
Retired.
Let's do the air quotes. Retired.
Coastal at Army.
Yes.
Sure.
That's fun.
They played a home and home. So this is part of the home and
Yeah,
home.
right. And Florida at Mizzou on ESPN. Hey, Florida. Good luck, guys.
Oh my god.
Good luck.
It's weird to say that with.
Oh yeah, no, like the irony in my voice is that like Florida is walking into a wood chipper here. That's
Mhm.
funny.
It's very strange to be like, okay, because Mizzou just like beat the crap out of Tennessee last week,
I
and
don't
you're all just like,
I don't think I emotionally came to terms with exactly what Mizzou did to Tennessee last week. Like
that
like by 30
Top-
points or whatever it was. It was crazy.
top
Mhm.
10 Mizzou.
When do we start worrying about Billy Napier?
I mean, he's been there. This is his third year,
Second year.
second year. So next
Yes.
year,
Okay.
next year's when we start worrying about him.
Yeah, he needs to win one of these two to get bowl eligible. You have on the road at Mizzou this week, and then at home against Florida State.
Mm-mm.
Oh boy.
Mm-mm.
Just one thing that really
Oh,
bugs me
boy.
about when I was watching Florida and LSU last week. Like Graham Mertz wears the same number as Tebow did.
Yeah.
It throws me the hell off. It's just like I didn't know.
It's
that
because Graham
Florida-
Mertz is just like the second coming of Tim Tebow.
That's right.
They're the same.
The Graham Mertz experience.
Heismertz. Remember the Heismertz campaign?
Yes, like his freshman
God.
year at Wisconsin.
Can Oregon fuck up at Arizona State at 3 p.m.?
Yes.
Consider Arizona State.
That's
Look. Arizona State went on the road and gave Washington all kinds of hell
It's
up
true.
there. They just basically kind of put Chip Kelly on the hot seat last week.
I mean, not
then
just
they
hot,
have
not just
their-
hot seated him. They got him fired. As far
Wait,
as we know.
are we sure?
No,
Huh?
they say they're going to release him after the
Okay, so as unconfirmed
unconfirmed.
right now at the time of this podcast recording, Tuesday night, 11:14, whatever. At the time
10
of this.
10:30.
So I mean, so again,
Are you-
No, it's the date. I did the same thing.
11:14. I apologize.
I thought you said 11:14 like that was the time, and I was
No,
like, it's 10:30, my
Tuesday.
friend.
Tuesday 11. Yeah, the date. I gave you the date.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, not 10:33 p.m. Central Standard Time. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, can the Arizona State law firm of Bourget, Scattaboo, and Badger the Minecraft running back? I can't even. It's just like seriously, man. You cannot tackle. He is so hard to tackle, and he runs so hard.
Badger.
Badger. I don't know. Again, whatever happens in Arizona doesn't really happen, right?
Exactly. I've said that many times. I am really excited about App State at JMU. This is a
Oh, yeah.
quote unquote traditional rivalry at this point.
Yeah.
JMU, I don't know if they win this one. I think they win out because next week is actually never mind. Next week's Coastal, so they got 2 games that are like a little spicy coming up. It's at Coastal.
Yeah.
This is their last home game, and App State hasn't been great, but they've been on the right trajectory. Like they've gotten significantly better over the course of the season. This is game day as well,
Yeah.
which is a lot of fun. This is like, I'm glad they're going there for game day. Should have gone to the Battle of the Domes, but what are you going to do?
Or maybe like, the Brawl of the Wild.
They did that last year, though.
Yeah, but you got to go to the other side of it.
That's when they almost they tried to freeze Lee Corso so he'd survive another couple years.
Kirk Herbstreit is still using hand warmers on his hands.
Feet. And his feet,
and
too.
his feet. Having people do that on his feet to try to keep him warm. Still
How
happening.
much money do we have to have before someone will put hand warmers in my shoes for me? What kind of money does that take?
I mean,
did you see?
You got to have like a giant network.
Did you see Georgia fans losing their mind a little bit about the fact that they let another dog onto their field? Because Kirk traveled with his golden retriever last week. And so his golden retriever was on game day. And so he was like walking with him on the field at Georgia Stadium. That's sacred ground. That's Ugga's ground.
It's not like Ugga has the energy to be territorial. All Ugga knows is sit on ice block and be cute.
I know. Hey, you know what? He and I have a lot in common. We also both breathe very heavily when we do any activity. Some of the other Sun Belt games that are interesting. Texas State at Arkansas State. Texas State's already bowl eligible, but they've been a little like not as solid the last week or two. I think this is a get right for game for them.
Arkansas State needs one more for bowl eligibility.
Ooh.
Can Butch Jones
and then extend Butch Jones, Jonesboro, extend him.
Butch Jonesboro.
The Raging Cajuns are at Troy on NFL Network. Good luck with that, Raging Cajuns. Southern Miss is going to Mississippi State as well. Like, there's a lot of these kind of like into a wood chipper games.
Mississippi State just fired their coach.
It's still Southern Miss.
So it's Southern Miss. I don't.
It'd be funny.
I mean,
it would be funny. Southern Miss fans would really love it. But Southern Miss is probably not good enough this year.
A game that's not on here, but I do want to mention is New Mexico State going to Auburn. Which, when they planned that game, I assumed they thought it was the same as, bringing in an FCS team, and it is not. However, Diego Pavia is a bit banged up. And I said this in chat, and I want to be very clear. If Jerry Kill listens to this, I need you to tank this game like a Premier League team going to Kazakhstan on a Tuesday night for like a Europa League game. Send the freshmen, send the under 18 squad. Let them get to go into the chipper. It's fine.
Okay. But what if Jerry Kill single-handedly gets that motherfucker fired?
I mean, remember last year, he beat Liberty last year with Hugh Freeze as their coach. Beat them big. There is that. However,
so how big? How big would he have to do it?
To get him
fired? So big.
Oh,
big.
See, I don't think so. It won't get him fired, but like you want to turn up the heat real fast on him.
No, I'm saying like, what is the fired number? What is the number where it's like Auburn is like, we can allow this to continue for 5 more minutes?
Oh, it would have to be like double digits, like big double digits, like 20, 30.
I want to see New Mexico State hang the speed limit on them.
Yeah.
But I would rather New Mexico State be healthy for the Conference USA title game and bowl game.
Yeah.
Okay, that's also fair. But
they cleared $1.85 million, send in the freshman squad, and leave Diego Pavia on the sideline for a bit. Do not let him go get killed for no reason.
That's fair.
Tank this game. Take their money and tank the game. That's just what I'm saying. North Carolina at Clemson has opportunity to be very weird because those teams are going in very vastly different directions. Clemson's looking better as the season goes along, and UNC is looking worse. La Tech at Jacksonville State. Hey, La Tech, I hope that y'all have something in the tank. Yep, I don't think so. And then a couple of stragglers here. Rutgers at Penn State. Texas at Iowa State on Fox, which is making me ill to my stomach to think about.
Oh, Ames night game.
I want to throw up
Hey.
thinking about that. And then Utah at Arizona at 1:30 p.m. on the Pac-12 network.
That feels wrong.
That right there is so bizarre. Going to Tucson at 1:30. Oh yeah, hey,
That feels like that's going to be a really good game.
it is. Great,
Yeah.
great Big 12 preview.
And no one will get to see it.
Right, Beth? That's a Big 12 conference game next year. Love to see it.
Worth noting that Cal Stanford is an ACC game next
Oh yeah,
year.
Yeah.
and also,
The ACC game.
it's Victory Bell this week too. The big classic Big Ten,
Which one?
the classic Big Ten conference game of SC and UCLA.
Oh. I hate this.
I'm so excited to bring this up so many times over the course of the summer. I'm gonna spread it out just enough that you like get
Mhm.
lulled into it. You forget about it for a second. Then I remind you that SMU Cal is a conference game now. I remind you that Pitt is traveling to SMU for a conference football game. Things like that. A couple other things. ULM at Ole Miss. Kamish, good luck, sir.
Yeah, somebody in the Discord is like, if ULM loses this game, you have to dress up like an Ole Miss frat boy.
Sure.
I'm like, so I'm gonna have to dress up like an Ole Miss frat boy.
Yeah, that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's the bet. I mean, like that's not even giving me a chance to get out of this.
Do you have pink shorts?
I do not have pink shorts.
You don't have pink shorts?
No.
How many pairs of pink shorts do you have, Jordan?
How many of them are, and how many of your pink shorts are technically coral?
One. The other two are pink.
Yeah.
I have
Listener,
like
Oh,
a
I said,
reddish
sorry. Yeah,
orange
listener, I
stripe
held
there.
up 3 fingers for the number of pairs of pink shorts I have. They're different lengths. One of them is like little down to my knee, and I have a pair that are pretty short. Let's be honest here.
Have you ever paired them with a yellow button down?
Okay,
A yellow short sleeve button down.
Okay. Yeah.
that's Easter.
Okay.
One of
No,
the
let me
one of the
say-
pairs is very short, y'all.
Let me say the bet
And
here is
saucy.
With
Shorts.
boat shoes?
Yeah, of course, both shoes.
Yeah.
the
that's-
the
yeah.
over under is 61.5.
okay.
If Ole Miss gets 62, I will dress up as
Cool.
a frat boy.
I love
Ole
it.
Miss has got to score 62. I'm still probably gonna wind up dressing up as an Ole Miss frat boy.
Get you a red Solo cup. You'll be fine.
Sure, I think I have those.
I mean, like every grocery store has those, so I think you're covered regardless.
Sure, enough bets.
Let's talk about our FCS games because we have a couple of really great ones. This is the final FCS week of the regular season.
Mhm.
So this is sort of like their rivalry week as well. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
I think it's called the Battle of the Causeway. This is Sac State and UC Davis. Let me get the actual name of that.
Yes. Big Sky Bangers.
I don't know which one of us came up with Big Sky Bangers, but I love that name. Is it you?
I just typed it in there. I was like, Big Sky Bangers.
This is the Causeway Classic. And the trophy
Causeway Classic.
the trophy is made from cement taken from the Yolo Causeway.
Ooh, sounds heavy.
It is a viaduct, apparently.
Wait, the trophy is a viaduct?
No, the Yolo Causeway is a viaduct.
Oh, I was so excited. It's gonna be like our first multi-ton
Let me find what it
trophy.
looks like. Causeway Classic Trophy. Oh, wait, hold up, really?
Ooh.
Okay, you guys are gonna fucking love this.
I'm checking the
I'm
chat.
so excited. It's like a concrete Yankee Candle.
Yeah, like
I
it-
love it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's just like a cylinder of cement.
Oh my god, it's so good.
How much does it weigh? How much does it weigh?
Uh,
We must
figure that
know.
out.
Well, I mean, we need to get that graphic out to pressure these schools. Like, we need to show what we have so far, and these schools need to participate and let us know more. I think we have, I don't even know, maybe around like 20 trophy weights right now, confirmed. So we may have a little bit more, doing some more research through the tweets.
I'm
but
also very proud
we
of
need a
myself.
graphic.
I'm very proud of myself, by the way, that I did not say cement, which is how I usually say that word. I've had to work very hard to get it to cement.
Beth, are you familiar with macadam, or is that an Eastern PA thing?
Oh no, I'm familiar with macadam. Yeah, absolutely. Is that not a Texas thing?
I don't even know what that is.
What is that?
That is Pennsylvanian for pavement.
Yeah.
After
Specifically composite pavement that's like tar and chip.
Okay.
Yep.
Style
Called
pavement.
macadam.
Yep.
Yes.
Named after a MacAdam who was from somewhere in Pennsylvania, if I recall correctly.
Do we think that trophy is heavier or lighter than the Dakota marker?
Probably lighter because the Dakota marker is made of like granite.
Yeah.
This is just cement.
But maybe it's big. It's hard to tell in the
Big.
picture. I want to imagine that it's big.
I threw another picture in there of someone carrying it, holding it, so you can see at least a little like for scale.
Oh no, not
It's
big.
not. But it's still made of cement, which is pretty cool, taken from a causeway.
If you dropped it on your toe, you'd be having a bad day.
Oh no, you break your damn toe for sure. Other rivalry games we have, like we said, the Battle of the Domes. That's Idaho and Idaho State. This year the game is in. Gotta remember.
It's in Moscow.
It's in Moscow. Okay, so it's at Idaho in the Kibbe
Kibbe.
Dome. So,
Yeah.
This is they do not play for King Spud though, do they? That's the only basketball trophy, isn't it?
That is that's like a shared sport
Okay.
thing. It's between like basketball. I think volleyball's involved. The like men's and women's basketball. So
Yeah.
it's like a shared sport, and I think Idaho State got that one last year.
Yes.
The Battle of the Domes trophy is sponsored by like a credit union, so it doesn't necessarily look like fancy, but it's like a new trophy that only started in like 2017 when Idaho came back to FCS.
Dropping the Battle of the Domes trophy in the chat as well. And then, of course, this weekend is also the Brawl of the Wild, which is the best name for a rivalry.
Mhm.
That is Montana State and Montana. Their trophy is fucking giant. This thing
Yeah, we
requires,
actually got to wait.
we did. This thing is like
We gotta wait.
300 plus pounds.
306.1 pounds. I believe the Grizzlies of Montana weighed it for us because they had it at the time, but Montana State has it. And this trophy is one that is basically whoever wins the series after a century gets to keep it. Yes.
Ooh.
How many games are they in on that one? They are.
I have no idea.
Let's see here. They are. It was created in 2001, so we got to get to. Well, we'll all be dead by then. So,
Oh no.
well, sorry, 3 of us will be dead by then.
I might live that long.
Yeah.
I probably won't.
Pick Girl
I will
might
be
make it
very
there.
old.
Arthur might make it there. The rest of us are definitely going to be way dead by then.
I will. I
And,
would.
and we did agree we're doing the same thing as like the McElroy's podcast where Pit Girl just has to get new hosts.
Yeah, no, this is going to go on forever. So if one of us dies, we just got to get new hosts for this thing.
106-year-old me talking about the final winner of the Brawl of the Wild trophy.
This is technically called the Great Divide Trophy. But yeah, it's great. I love it. It's got like paws on it. It's huge. You have to carry it like a fucking coffin. It's great. This is one of my favorite trophies. Other big FCS games this week. It is Harvard-Yale week.
Woo!
Those of you that care, this is going to basically decide the Ivy League. If Harvard wins this, they will win the Ivy League solo. If Yale wins this, then there's some like shared titles that are going to happen here. We'll see how many ways we can split up that Ivy League title.
There's if everybody can get to whoever can get the 5 wins can share that. So Harvard and Yale. If Yale wins, it's a split title between Harvard and Yale. The only other team that can share it is if Dartmouth
Hell yeah.
beats Brown.
Which we're going to do because fuck Brown. If Brown wins, however, no, Brown can't get it either. So yeah,
No,
so
they can't get it.
It's got
So-
it's going to be either Harvard winning outright
Or
or a Harvard Yale
hopefully
tie or a Dartmouth Harvard Yale tie.
there could be a 3-way Ivy.
Yes, that has happened plenty of times before. I'm looking at other FCS things, just skimming to make sure I didn't miss anything that's going to jump out at me since it is the last week. The winner of Merrimack Duquesne is going to be the winner of the NEC. Duquesne is 5-1 in the NEC. Merrimack is 4-2. If Merrimack wins this, they'll have the tiebreaker over Duquesne, so they'll get the the auto bid. So that's interesting.
Yeah. The oldest rivalry in FCS, Lafayette and Lehigh.
Yes.
Mhm.
The oldest college football rivalry in the country.
In the country.
Yep.
They
The
play
159th, 158th. something like that.
Lafayette, the Pards, the Leopards, are 8-2, facing
Go Pards.
Lehigh, who is 2-8. But you got to throw the records out when you get this rivalry involved. You got to throw them out.
If
The Mountain Hawks versus Leopards, throw them out.
if Lafayette wins this, they win the Patriot League. If they lose this, and Holy Cross wins, Holy Cross gets it. There's a couple of tiebreakers. In
Yeah,
this,
Holy Cross has got to beat Georgetown, who's 5-5, which is pretty good year for Georgetown.
in the CAA, there's some wild ass tiebreakers going on right now to figure out
Oh,
who's
yeah.
going to get their auto bid. They use, God bless them, they use score differential,
Yeah,
but they only 21 points per game can be counted towards your score differential.
yeah, it's a mess.
They released a
There's-
whole
there's-
like document about it. It's just
Yeah, they had to do like a bulleted Word doc to explain everything because there's 4 teams tied at 6-1 in this situation here. It's the Great Danes of Albany, they're 6-1. The Delaware Blue Hens, 6-1. Villanova and Richmond, all 6-1. Elon is 5-2, and they're technically still alive, but there's some weirdness, I believe. They could actually be eliminated because there's so many 6-1 teams.
yeah. Was I think they play one of the 6-1s maybe. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think that, but it is. Oh my God, this conference is such a mess.
And
Ever since
they're
they
only
expanded
getting
to, like-
bigger. That's the thing. They're
Yeah.
only getting bigger, so the teams aren't going to play each other as often.
No. So it is a mess this week in the CAA, and we'll keep an eye on it, and hopefully, there'll be some crazy. If only there was like a coin toss like there was last year, but we don't think there's any coin tosses out there.
I don't think so. The
The
other
coin toss was in the Big South OVC, right?
Yes. The only other interesting thing I saw was that some people have North Dakota State on the playoff bubble currently.
Ooh.
That would be just that's real spicy, y'all. I didn't realize, I think I said it last time, but I didn't realize that in D3 that basically all but 4 of the D3 playoff spots are taken by auto bids. It's so much tighter than FCS. FCS, like there's a bunch of at large spots. But for D3, it's only 4 or 3 or 4. And in some of those conferences, like I could name in the, I said it wrong apparently. It's either the WIAC or the WIAC, the Wisconsin one. There are like a bunch of teams that could go on. So
For sure.
Anyways, I think that's the big thing. The only other thing that's a little interesting is that NC State, no, not NC State, NC Central and Howard are in sort of like a weird spot right now in terms of who's going to win and go out of the MEAC to the Celebration Bowl. And it's sort of weird that if Howard wins the conference, there's a chance NC State might end up in the playoffs anyways as a bubble team.
North Carolina Central.
I'm sorry,
not NC State.
Sorry, NC Central. Just because of like, if listeners don't know, the winners of the SWAC and the MEAC go to the Celebration Bowl, but the second place teams or other teams in there can go on to the playoffs. Florida, this happened to Florida A&M last year, where they didn't win the conference, but they're still good enough to go to the playoffs as an at-large team. And so they're thinking that might happen with NC Central if the Howard split. Anyways, it's just a little bit of interesting math there. I think that's all the games I got for this week, guys.
Yeah, you got the D2 and D3 playoffs coming out, along with that Isthmus Bowl, as you talked about.
And there were other ones too I found out about.
Yeah.
Like there's this, it's like the Land Something Bowl. I saw that the Merchant Marine Academy is going to another bowl game as well. They got invited to something. So there are all these like bowl games this weekend. People were complaining that apparently Sun Prairie, Wisconsin is not on an isthmus.
Yeah.
And then the bowl game, it was like in our mentions being like, look, we know.
Yeah, the bowl game, the actual bowl game follows
Edith
us.
Culver's, like just.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But yeah.
Culver's is actually pretty great,
Yeah.
for the record.
Yeah, it's nuts.
When
Yeah.
you think about it, all of North America and South America is basically an isthmus.
Yes.
So
Everything's an
there's-
isthmus if you think hard enough.
Here's all the Division 3 bowl games that I could find
Go for it.
for D3. So this is our first bowl games, which again, there's never too many bowl games. So we have the Bushnell Bowl, which is Brockport versus Carnegie Mellon.
Ooh.
The Chapman Bowl, which is Utica versus Hobart. The Whitelaw Bowl, which is
Whoa.
Widener versus RPI.
Oh, hey.
The Lina Bowl, which is Merchant Marine versus Washington and Jefferson.
Hey, girl, didn't you have Ken that went to RPI?
No, I have Ken who went to RIT, which is why I made
RIT,
that's
that
it.
face
Yeah,
off RPI.
I get the mess up. Same basic thing.
Yeah, so close enough. It starts with an R. Then we have
Them's fighting words.
these are all campus sites right now. So all these bowls, they're all just like campus sites. So still campus sites. Centennial Mac Bowl Series.
Okay.
You have Franklin and Marshall versus Kings, PA. You have Lebanon Valley versus Muhlenberg. Muhlenberg. Okay. Then we have Stevenson versus Ursinus? Ursinus. Okay. Perfect.
That's in Pennsylvania too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I figured that. You have
Everything is Pennsylvania.
That's right.
You know that.
You have the New England Bowl Series,
When
which
I
is
have to
still
do the fucking
campus sites.
when I have to do the fucking D3 logos for Pennsylvania, it's gonna take me days.
Take you forever. The New England Bowl Series, still campus sites. You have Anna Maria versus
Salve Regina.
There you go. Done. And then you have UMass Dartmouth versus Western New England, which is a weird thing to think about. Then you have the Culver's Isthmus Bowl, which is in Sun Prairie. And then you have the Cousin Subs Lakefront Bowl,
Lakefront Bowl. There it was.
which is in Rave Stadium, which is, I cannot even say this, Wauwatosa,
Yeah,
Wisconsin?
Wauwatosa.
Sure. Okay. If I said that right. It's St. Norbert versus Monmouth, Illinois.
There we go.
So that's your bowl games. Do we have logos for all these bowls?
We're about to.
Yeah,
about to find
I'll find them.
We're gonna find out. Let's find out. Let's do that. We're gonna have time to research that on the podcast.
We'll do that for later.
That's all right.
Okay, folks. I think that's all we got for tonight. Beth, did you want to talk more about the Michigan situation?
Yeah, I would love to. So I think it's really important that we consider